What's good, everybody? Chris here again. Chris Goes Outdoors. Today we're going to take a look at this tent right here. It's the Big Agnes Copper Spur HV2 Expedition tent. I'm very familiar with the Copper Spur line of tents from Big Agnes, having owned the Big Agnes. I believe they refer to it now as the Copper Spur Classic UL2. My buddy Pacho owns the Copper Spur Classic UL2. My girlfriend and my buddy AJ both own the Copper Spur HV UL1. And when looking for a freestanding winter tent, it seemed kind of like a no-brainer to me to check out the Big Agnes Copper Spur Expedition series. I believe this is fairly new to the market. Very few videos out there about this tent. So I would like to say I'm not recommending the tent at all. Take the information that you see here, do some more research on your own, see if this tent is right for you. I just kind of want to show you around and quite frankly, set it up for myself. I've brought this tent out now on 2 trips where I was planning to use it on overnights. Neither of them I ended up using it on. One of them, we ended up back at the car, didn't end up staying overnight. And the other one, we stayed in a fire tower. So I didn't actually need the tent. The tent itself, definitely heavier than what you would probably be used to with the Copper Spur line. I believe the HV UL2 tent is somewhere just over 2.5 pounds, maybe edging closer to 3. This whole setup right here, so the tent, the fly, stuff sack, stakes, poles, weighs in somewhere around 5.5 pounds. I'll put the actual weight down here, but it's a much thicker fabric. I believe the poles are much sturdier. The stakes are pretty beefy from what I've seen as well. Let's get into actually setting the tent up. I've already kind of cleared out the ground about as best I can. So you can set this up with the Fast Fly. So that's just a ground sheet. The tent poles and the fly. I do not own the ground sheet as Big Agnes sells them separately, and I would essentially never use it. Got the poles right here in the stuff sack. Got the tent stakes as well. Got a little cord here just to keep everything situated. So we got the inner tent right here and the rain fly right here. So we'll tuck the rain fly off to the side real quick. We'll set up the inner. You can see it is color coded, I believe, just like the other ones are. So the shorter side has a little gray tab for the pole insert points, and the wider end has red, so you can line them up with the pole ends. So you can see gray on these ends. So we have the pole set up right here. The hub is actually right in the middle. Then you take each end, you'll see the end right here is red, so color coordinated. So you have to be pretty foolish to end up messing this setup up. And another thing down at the end here, you can see that they definitely made this with winter and like mountaineering in mind. So where the grommets take the poles, there's also these really beefy like straps here so you can hold on to them. And I assume that that is for use with gloves. So if you're trying to set the tent up with huge mittens or like gloves on, you can still easily grab things. So nice little touch. Start clipping it in. From my previous experiences with the Copper Spur, I always try to start clipping these on down low on the pole. When you clip them from down low, it pulls the poles into, the proper location. So they give you this one additional pole right here, which to the best of my knowledge, just rests up against this one, and it's held in by this little guy right here. And then you just clip it on the ends, these little plastic pullouts. Voila, the tent is set up. So time-wise as well, that took me, I don't know what, a couple minutes while I was talking to the camera and unwrapping everything for the first time. So super fast setup, just like all the other Copper Spur tents. We'll give you a little look around so you can just see like this part right here, and then we'll pop the fly on. All right, so there we go. We got the tent all set up right here. I'll give you a quick look at the little grommet point where the poles go in, so you can see what I was talking about. You see they have this nice beefy strap right there, so that'll let you hold on to that with like big mitts or something on, so you can easily get the pole into the grommet. So here you can see the door. There's not too much as far as mesh goes on the actual door compared to the other Copper Spur lines, with the exception of this right here. So that is mesh, but on the inside too, it actually has essentially a window. You can open and close that. We'll take a look at that as well. Some more ventilation right up there, which is also mesh and also has its own little window. And then on the other side, there is indeed another little door right there, another little thing of mesh and a window. So right there you can see how the clips go on. I'll show you the hub right there. Feels very sturdy, so I'm putting a lot of weight on it, and that thing, it's not moving. And then the little cross pole right there just goes on right over the top and then clips into these little hubs right here. And just so you can see on the other end too, as I mentioned, the color coordinated poles, you can see the end of the pole is gray, and that leads you right down to this grommet point right here, and then another strap. For the door here, we have two zippers, one on the bottom side, one on the upper side. Unzip that. Much easier to pull than the lighter weight copper spur, the HV series. They use a much lighter weight zipper on that. This one feels definitely more substantial. So then this one right here just slides back, and then you can roll the door up. There's a little toggle and loop right here. I put the NeoAir Xtherm Max, this is the regular size in there. Definitely room for two mattresses. There will not be too much room for gear inside. So I knew this going into it. I figured most of our gear would stay right outside in the vestibule of the tent anyway. If you were looking for more space, so say two people all the time with your gear inside, you'll probably want to look at the three-person version of this tent. We'll also jump in real quick and we'll take a look at the zipper on the inside. So as I mentioned, the tent does come with ventilation, so there is mesh on the panel here, on the door. You might be able to see my shadow from the outside, but there are two little zippers, and I believe these are the same zippers they usually use for the doors on the lighter weight copper spur models. There you go. You can just unzip that and then vent the door out. You get some mesh right here. It appears they use a beefier mesh as well, and if you want, you can roll the little vent window down here. There's also another toggle and loop for that. And it's good for ventilation, especially in the winter when you're trying to, avoid getting a ton of condensation buildup on the inside of the tent. You can see this is the door of the tent right here. This is the mesh panel, and this is how the zippers are. So you got the double zippers for the little mesh window right here. So pretty easy, relatively, to open up, not a problem. That's where the little toggle is, and then it hooks on to that little loop right there. Pretty easy to get done. I'll try to do it one-handed. And then with the door, you have two separate zippers. So this one right here, and you can see they go up and down very, very easy, one-handed, which is a very nice touch. And then that one opens no problem. Right up here on the inside, this is the little door keeper. Apparently it's labeled as door keeper. If you just need to get in the tent or out of the tent, you just want to keep the door out of your way but not completely tie it back, you just take the door up like this and tuck it in. There you go. Kind of keeps it out of your way. And it's the same on this side right here. So same door system, same door keeper as well. There's also a little loop up here, so you could use either a clothesline or something up there if you wanted to. You could attach one yourself. I believe Big Agnes also makes accessories that can be used with the little things here. I think they have a P-cloth or something that like connects to the back here and then up into here. I have not used them personally, but I believe you could get them if you wanted to. You can see there's all sorts of loops. One there, one there, one there, one there in the corner, one there, one there. So tons of loops to connect all sorts of stuff to, if that's what you fancy. It's also a ton of mesh around me. So we got mesh pocket right here. It is the little headphone loop, very similar to the other copper spur tents. Another mesh pocket up here, another mesh pocket here, one here as well. And then we got two down at the end there, one on each side. And then right here, so this is the regular sized Thermarest Xtherm Max. So it's the rectangle version. And I believe that that's 20 inches across. You can definitely fit another pad for sure. But if you were two people using wide pads, like 25-inch pads, it may like just fit. But again, with gear, it's gonna be tight. You will definitely want to utilize the vestibule of the tent for gear. You could definitely fit some down the end. But as far as how much room I got up here, not that much. Another mesh pocket over there as well. And we got the little mesh window here. You can see it's got the two zipper pulls right here, just like the door. So unzip. There you go. Got some ventilation to the outside. But I believe the Fly also has another little piece that you can open up for more ventilation out of the fly. Let's strap the fly on. We'll stake that thing out too, and we'll take a look. All right, and we'll stake out the vestibules. So it comes with 10 stakes. They're definitely bigger than the standard copper spur ones. I personally like snow stakes for the snow, but they look like they do a pretty good job either way. So here is the tent all decked out. So on the vestibule, you can see right there, it has the very, very large pullouts right there. And there's one for each door. So you can actually keep each door tightened onto the same stake if you needed to, right like that. Not gonna do it because we gotta get in there. And it's got two big old zippers right there. We'll open up the vestibule in just a moment. And then right there, you can see the little toggle to tension up the fly right there. The plastic buckles right there to connect it. A very, very large, big Agnes logo, just in case you forget who you bought the tent from and where the location is. Got another little guy out point right there with a stake in. As you can see, there are line lock adapters. I think those are the line lock 2s. I just didn't undo them because I just don't want all the cordage floating around in my bag, but you can see them. And here you can see the little guy out system. So takes the 2 lines, connects them to that little loop right there, and then down onto the ground, so you only need one real stakeout point. And again, another line lock adapter on there. The color coordinated end, so it has the gray connection for the shorter end. And we got another little guy out point right there. You can see the vestibule and door system right here. So we have a little bit of Velcro right down here, a little bit of Velcro there as well. And then got big old beefy zipper right there. Very, very easy to roll that thing up. So then you can take the door. Got the toggle right here, the loop on the inside. There you go. So keeps the door nice and folded up out of your way. Not a problem. There's the vestibule space you got. Of course, it would be larger if you had both doors down. For me, it would be plenty ample, you know, to leave my pack and whatever else I needed to right under there. You can see in there those little tabs. There's one there and one down there. So that is Velcro, and that Velcro can be used to fasten the fly directly to the poles, just to give you, you know, a little more durability, a little less worry as far as, you know, blowing in the wind and stuff. So you can see right here, this is the inside of the fly between the actual tent. And you can see this little hook here. So this is a little pocket for the pole, the little cross pole that goes over here. And that is supposed to just pop in just like that. So is it 100% necessity? No, but it does just give you a little bit more security and just keeps the pole wedged in there all nice. So right there, that is the front of the tent. And you can't really see it because it's tucked up underneath the fly here, right here. So this is the mesh right here. This is the actual tent fly, but the vent is like right there. So I guess the theory is it would go up your breath, or the heat would vent out and then out from the little tent there. Unfortunately, there is no zipper on any part of the mesh. It would be really nice if they had incorporated a zipper so you could unzip the full mesh and then get to the vent on the outside if for whatever reason you needed to close it. Either way, the vent is nice. You don't want condensation if you can avoid it. This is me laying down. I am 6 feet tall and I have maybe 2 inches until I touch the end there. With the high volume, the back walls like this are really like straight up, so you don't really have any issue with rubbing on them too much. If we spin it around, so I haven't moved, my head is like right maybe half an inch from the thing right here, so I can fit my hand in between. Just enough room. If you were a super tall person, you may have an issue. Maybe over 6'2", 6'3", you might have a little bit of trouble fitting in here. And again, for what it's worth, 6 feet tall, I'm sitting on the Thermarest sleeping pad, and I have 2 inches maybe of space as I'm sitting up. And try to give you a better look as well. So Again, right at the edge of the sleeping pad. Sleeping pad's almost right up to the edge here, and right there. So got a little bit of room, not too much, but so this right here is a little splint for a pole. As you can see there, emergency field repair splint. So if you break a pole or something, a pole snaps, you can slide this on, and this should at least suffice for, you know, the time being. Should be able to at least keep the pole intact till whenever your trip ends. So overall thoughts, seems like a pretty solid tent, exactly what I would expect from the Big Agnes Copper Spur line. I've been pleased with their performance previously. Other people I know have them, really enjoy them. The people I know on the AT that use them really like them as well. So I expect good things from this tent, and hopefully they come. I'm hoping to be able to give this thing a test run in a blizzard. We'll see if that comes to fruition, or if not a blizzard, at least maybe like a really significant snowstorm. A nor'easter, as they call them up here. I think this will more than suffice for my needs. Keep it in mind, I guess, that it will be a very tight fit with 2 people. And if you're looking to keep all your gear inside, probably look at the 3-person version. I am not recommending this gear at all. I would like to state that again. Not recommending it in the least. I have not tested this thing out. I have not used it at all. Different people look for different things. Take what you see in here. If you think it'll work for you, do some more research, and maybe pick it up, maybe not. Maybe it's not the right tent for you, maybe it is. Only you can decide that. I hope the video was helpful. If it was, consider dropping it a like. If you loved it, consider commenting and subscribing. If you have any questions about the tent too, if I can answer them anyway, I will try. I try to respond to most people in the comments too, so. You can also follow me on Instagram at Chris Goes Outdoors if you care to. Don't feel obligated, social media is pretty lame. It's been real, it's been fun. It's been real fun. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.